Changing lives with clean water. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Sawyer Products is founder and president Kurt Avery. Hi, Kurt.
Hi, thank you. Great to be here.
Great to see you. And you have a new book out to go along with your range of products. The book is called Sawyer Think: How a Small Company Disrupts Markets and Changes the World. I think talking about the book, Kurt, is going to tell everyone some background about you and the company. So let's start there.
Well, we're focused on the outdoor industry, so we're in every camping department that you're going to find. We do insect repellents and water filtration. We're the primary supplier to the military. They don't go anywhere without our clothing treatment or the topical that they put on the skin. We're kind of techie, so we do techie type products. So it's you got to be able to wear the repellent every day for 300 days a year in certain parts of the military. So it's gentle, but it's very effective. So they use us, and of course they treat their uniforms with permethrin, which is a product we invented back in the 80s. And we do water filtration, hiking, camping, drinking out of the rivers, whatever. And then obviously overseas, which I think you're aware of. The book will bring you through that. So the book is first, we want to make your business more profitable. So I've had a kind of a storied career in big companies until I decided to join Sawyer. It took me a little while to figure out how to switch from big company marketing to guerrilla marketing and hit our targets. But we always like to say we lost money 23 of the first 25 years till we became an overnight success. So but once we got in the water business, we've really exploded. So we're quite big now. And the book is to walk you through some of my marketing analytics. Some are popular, some are the ones I thought of, some are the ones I've adapted, so we can make your business more successful. And the more successful we make your business, the more generous you could be with giving away products or cash or whatever. So that's the nature of the book. There's some little hidden treasure. I call it a mini MBA. There's a little few hidden treasures in there.
Just terrific. So tell me about the filtering technology and the products that you have out there today and how they've evolved a bit. I assume there's
Yeah.
been some changes over the years.
Yeah, we way back. I've got a picture of one here with you if we get to looking at that. Um, Half the world died of water, bad water, or mosquito bites, and I said, why don't we just go fix that? We already had the mosquitoes covered. We did the bed nets and all that stuff, invented that. But we needed to do the water. So we looked at every type of thing, chemicals, paper matrix, ceramic thing. And then we came across from kidney dialysis something that's called hollow fiber membranes. So if you can clean blood, you ought to be able to clean water. So we brought that out. And at the time we brought it out, the ceramic and paper matrix market was like 70,000 units a year. And it was cumbersome, very heavy to carry out there. And they were selling for $70, $80 a piece. And we came out and we said, no, we're going to go 19.99. And of course, the retailer said, you're crazy. We make 40 bucks a piece on these. I said, yeah, but you're going to sell so many more. And so we took the market from 70,000 units back in 2003 and four. And I mean, it's millions now. We do millions of these things. So that's disrupting that market, changing the whole technology. Now, we've had about 200 people try to copy us, but nobody's matched our technology in the 20 years that we've had it on the market. They may look like us, but they don't do what we do. We get out everything, 0.1 micron absolute. So they're little hoses, and they look like strings, but they're actually hoses. And in those hoses are holes. And we guarantee that the largest hole we have is 0.1 microns absolute. Now, your hair is 170 microns. This is 0.1. So you can imagine how much, I mean, 17 microns. We're 170th smaller than a hair is the largest hole in our filters. And nobody's been able to match that. And that's key because there's nothing that's going to make you sick that's smaller than 0.1 microns. So we're going to get out everything, not the viruses, but viruses really aren't in the water. They're not in the drinking water. You just don't grab water that would have viruses in it. So, I mean, we've got 25 million people, 4 or 5 million every year get water for the first time and nobody gets sick. I mean, it's just they close medical clinics because there's no more sick people. Just give us a week or two with the water and we'll take any water and make it safe. So, obviously the hiking camping is a pretty easy one for us because that water's not so bad. But you go over into any part, we're in 80 countries with 140 charities, and some of that water, they're drinking with the cows pooping in it and everything else, and we just make it safe. So it's kind of an honor, actually, but I don't know how you not do it. I mean, when you have the ability to do that and nobody else can, there's no other filter that can do what we do, but we can literally go, we save hundreds of thousands of babies' lives a year because they die of diarrhea from the bad water, but now we've made all that water safe. So it's how do you not do it, right? It's
And
like
you're
watching
you're
somebody
you're
drown and you don't throw them a life preserver. Come on, you got to do it.
and you're so well known among outdoor enthusiasts, hikers, campers, and more. But the good that you're doing, what you're referring to here, really goes beyond serving those particular customers. Tell us more about that.
Well, we use the big charities, the ones that you'll know of, Samaritan's Purse, Red Cross, we did 100,000 filters, went up to the Tennessee and North Carolina after Helene. They could just drink the water they're standing in. We get in there, Puerto Rico, we got there so fast that you ever seen all the bottles that rotted on the tarmac? Didn't need them. By the time they got there, we were a third of all the Puerto Ricans were drinking out of our filters. So a lot of people go in ahead of a hurricane and one duffel bag, depending on which system you take, you do anywhere from 20 to 200,000 people out of one duffel bag. So they go in, they hunker down, and then because no matter what the tragedy is, earthquake, typhoon, you have to have water on day two. At the very least, you have to have some water. So we use the big names, and we got a lot of specialty ones too, though, that do big numbers. We just finished a project in Kibera, which is outside Nairobi. 400,000 people, 76 toilets. We gave every household a filter and nobody's sick. I mean, and not only that, but it's become safe. And so you can walk down the streets now because nobody's fighting over water. It's just a huge change in the culture. And we also give them an extra between 10 and 20% income because they're not boiling water, buying fuel, chopping down trees. And you talk about radically changing people's life. Just think these people have nothing to begin with, and all of a sudden they got 20% more income to do whatever, start businesses. So it's a radical change in their lives, and it's such an honor to be able to do it. And we map all that, so it's all been published in medical journals, what we do.
Just terrific. How long do the filters last, the ones that people can go out and buy?
Forever. We tell them 10 years, million gallons, 100,000 gallons, whatever. The difference between us and the other companies that make fibers is our fiber, not only is it the hole's so small, but the diameter of the hole of the hose and the diameter between the hoses are so small, the two sides, that it's very robust. You can back flush these things. You just send the water backwards. I give you a little demo here. What you do is the water is going to go in this way, come out here, but when it is, you just send water backwards and you cleaned it. So we've had filters, some of the earliest ones 15 years ago put in Guatemala. They're still running every day, still doing it. We did a test to prove that, we'll get you the 100,000 gallons, but it's really, there's no end to it. So we just tell people 10 years if you take care of the filter, because people can't think beyond that. But we've had some out there for more than 15 years from the very, very start.
Just amazing. So has the technology that you use, has that changed much?
Um, that no, well, we don't need to change because we're
Right.
getting everything. So we're not really looking to change it. Like I said, we have so many imitators, but they don't use the same technology that we do. It's a core to hollow fiber membranes, but they're not at our level of cleaning. It's just a huge difference of being able to clean ours. Most of the other ones, you'd blow them apart if you tried to clean them, so they're not going to last. They're not going to get everything. When you go into a village, you got to be able to say, if you use this filter properly, you cannot get sick from the water. you can't go in there and say, well, 90% you're going to be okay. The other 10, you're going to still get sick. I mean, you got to go in and be absolute that you're just not going to get sick with these filters. So we've changed the delivery systems. And we got them where you can put them on a tap now and get 500 gallons a day out of one filter every day. We have them on buckets. We have them on, we can just screw them on a bottle, just screw it right on top of a pop bottle. So we have different formats. That's changed, but not the core technology.
Terrific. And tell me about the market in households. I know about the outdoor enthusiasts, certainly in what you're doing in these countries where the need is so great. Is there a market for household use of this as well?
No, the only thing we do is we'll take out all the microplastics. We will get 100% of the microplastics. We're not taking out the chlorine or the chemicals, forever chemicals. We have ways of doing that, but we have we want to change, move the ball. I mean, there's plenty of other things you can put under your sink or a pitcher to take care of the American needs. We're just looking for taste more than safety. So we're focused on the safety part because the world needs a whole lot of that. I mean, and so we're now talking to whole countries about, basically making the whole country healthy. And you talk about climate, we save, each filter has the ability to save about 200 trees a year. You don't need to chop down for fuel or fossil fuel. I mean, it's so simple. And we give the average female who's the charge of the water an extra hour to 2 hours a day that she doesn't have to manage the water. She can do something else. So it's an absolute huge game changer where we are. But as far as Americans, it's hiking, camping, that kind of stuff. We're not dealing with taste.
Tell me about the whole philosophy behind this and the good that you're doing around the world, because so many companies today have they might have a good product, but they're focused seemingly more on the bottom line, earnings this quarter, et cetera.
Yeah, well, we're fortunate. We're privately held. I own 100% of the company and I'm sub S. So there's a lot of tax laws you can use that way. When I, to use a marketing term, exit the market, the company will go to the foundation. So we have a foundation and anybody who wants to can donate to it. 100% of all the money that the foundation gets goes to the outdoor project, the overseas projects. And we donate a lot to the thing too. So they do the cash, Sawyer does the filters. You can't take it with you. There's no U-Hauls in heaven. So, may the last check bounce is the philosophy I gathered a long time ago. So, again, the difference is if I always use, if we made cupcakes, we'd sell the cupcakes, make the profit, pay the taxes, and then I'd have a pot left over to give away. And if you understand how a corporation works, a publicly traded corporation, the government gets about 60% of their profits by the time it's all said and done, because they're taxing the dividends too. But by being privately held, I pay very little taxes because I don't have to make a profit. Nobody's going to force me to make a profit. So I can lose the money by donating the filters or donating money from Sawyer to undergo research and projects like that. And we do big stuff. We just gave away 150,000 filters to a new project starting in Kilimanjaro outside of Nairobi. And we do projects in Central America. And of course, we respond to every hurricane. We're doing something there. So I don't have to make a profit. Nobody tells me I have to make a profit. So why not just give it away? Because we have the very thing they need. So I can skip the whole making a profit thing, which is kind of crazy. But the bank, I got a bank that understands we can always make profit if we had to, but we don't have to. So they're comfortable. So I try to lose money. I would rather give it away than have the government give it away.
Kurt, I'm sure you have a ton of stories, lots of stories out there. Why don't you share one with us?
The one that is fairly recent and most amazing to me was a missionary goes to a village in Uganda. He's there for a week and he notices that they don't name their kids till they're 3 years old. And he asked them why. They said, well, if the child lives till 3, we're pretty sure they're going to make it. Until 3, we lose a lot of our kids. Usually it's like a third or more. So he goes back and he puts 250 filters in the village. Comes back a year later, and now they're naming the kids at birth because they've never lost a child since they brought the filters in. I mean, if you know how personal that can be to a mother who loses their child and then all of a sudden it's gone. You don't lose kids anymore. So that's the kind of stuff we can do that I don't think anybody else can do that.
Just terrific. And we're talking to you during what's called Random Acts of Kindness Week. Doesn't sound like this is very random.
No, it's not random at all. We've been planning it for a while. We didn't share this because I don't like to boast on what we do, but my team finally said, you know what? It's what people want to know. They want to know what they're supporting. So we've been doing this since 2005, but we really didn't go public with what we're doing until about a year, 2 years ago. But yeah, 2 to 5 million people a year get clean water for the first time every year. And that's going to only increase.
Where can people go for more information and to support what you're doing? I guess by buying your products.
You're right, because obviously the profits go there. Well, we're in all the camping stores. Obviously we're big on Amazon, but the REIs, wherever you would buy camping stuff. And if they just round straight out donate, you can do that to the foundation. Every dollar will go overseas for a project. The overhead for the foundation is very, very small, but it's covered by Sawyer. Wherever you buy camping goods, they ought to have it.
Well, congratulations on all that you are doing, Kurt Avery. Thank you for spending time with us.
Well, I thank you for giving us the time.